Hello everyone, my name is Tara and welcome to Aligning to Love. In this channel I aim to spread hope, joy, peace, and love to the world by sharing goodness and love within my life. In this video I wanted to share my personal and family life updates and events and the signs that I saw along the way. I had done my weeks 1 through 4 in the last previous videos, but there were some last things I wanted to remember in week 4 of September that I'm gonna share quickly in the beginning of this video and then go into week 1 of October. And so one of the things I wanted to remember from the end of September is that I did get to have a really nice conversation on the phone with my past neighbor Lois from White River Junction. It was always nice to hear her voice and to be able to catch up with her. I also remember every time I talk to Lois, every time you talk to anyone, if you're a good listener, you learn something new about them. But there were so many connections that Lois had with her interests with my parents. I remember her talking about an author that my dad loves. He's read like 30 or 40 of that author's books, and so has she. I thought that was so amazing. And she also talked about somebody in her life that she had known who was adopted, and that was also something that I had in common to talk about with me and my brother with our adoption. And there were just so many things. Every time I talked to her, I just remember that like we had lived next to each other for 10 years, but we really didn't get to have like these deep conversations. And even though that we were separated now with lots of distance, there is still so much to talk about. And I felt bad because I between Dan getting sick and other events going on in Sue's life and Lois's life, Lois was also getting another person that was moving in with her from, oh gosh, was it Brazil? And so there was just a lot of transitions in all of our lives. And we kept having to reschedule the time that we would get together, and we had to do it even through the first 2 weeks in October. We didn't end up getting to see each other until I think October 18th. But anyway, before I go into October, I also wanted to say that I got to have a nice conversation with my roommate from college, who was also one of my bridesmaids in my wedding, and it was nice to hear all the updates in her life and what was going on, and also share the updates that were happening for my family as well. And then another really funny part, well, it wasn't funny because it was money being charged to our account, but it was kind of funny because my husband, the year before, had been researching his ancestry. And so he was on Ancestry.com or something with getting subscriptions to newspaper articles that had to do with his family name and lineage. And we had thought we ended the subscription a long time ago, but we had just gotten billed for another one. And he's like, I can't believe that this is still going on. And so we actually did get our money back. But it was just so funny. He was like, okay, we need to make sure that subscription is like completely finalized and processed so we don't get charged again. But it did like make us remember just what he had been researching and the information he had learned, which was curious and it was interesting. So I just wanted to remember that for the end of the September month. And then going into October, it was really exciting. The first week in October, I believe it was October 2nd on a Thursday, my mom went with her hiking group and she hiked all of Mount Mansfield, which is a long hike. And my mom is 69 years old, and she has always been a go-getter. She's been a spin instructor, aerobics teacher, and she's always moving. And she's really healthy, and she's even at 37 right now. Sometimes I just can't even keep up with my mom. And I hope that I can maintain my health and become even more active so that when I'm in my 60s and 70s, I can be like my parents who, my mom and dad, they still downhill ski, they cross country ski, they go to the gym. I want to be just like them when I'm that age. And so I'm going to have to stop this video. I hear my daughter calling me, so I will talk more about October events in the next video. I hope you all have a wonderful morning. I love you all, and take care. Bye.